Welcome to my awesome health journey. I am Brett Dupree, and today I'm going to be talking about my week and some thoughts I've been having. This week has been really good for me. My hamstring feels a lot better, and what I talked about earlier this week about my ankle has been holding up my walks all week. In fact, today was Saturday, which is a 3G at Orange Theory, and I thought to myself, what if I did 3.1 miles an hour at 4% incline for the 13 minutes? And I held up pretty well. And the last minute all out, I did 3.1 miles per hour. No, I did 3.3 miles per hour at 6% for 30 seconds. And I ended it by going up to 10%. And I did about 20 seconds before I stopped. So I'm able to push things a little harder and a little more, which makes me very excited. That means I am healing. And it's a good thing because that would be allowing me to start pushing more and being able to finally get to the point where I am working on improving again. And it's been like this since November, and just got to keep on taking it slow. My goal is to get to the point where my hamstring is uncomfortable but not hurting. And I feel like that point where it's just kind of uncomfortable is where I'm strengthening it. Um, yeah, so that went well. Yeah, yoga is fine. Um, and yeah, my job's fine. So everything's going really fine. So yesterday I went out with a friend I haven't seen in years, and we had a fun, relatively deep conversation. And number one, the interesting thing was she asked me some questions, and I couldn't think of any answers. It was really weird how my brain was just like blank. And I think I might have been overwhelmed because we're in this place called Stoop Brewing, and it was just so busy with so many people talking. And in the past, I wouldn't have any problems with that amount of stimulation. I can still have like a full conversation. But I think with Vyvanse, I noticed that I can get overstimulated. My brain has a harder time of focusing and just coming up with answers. And like she was having questions on love languages and like what other languages are there than five, because I think there's more than five. And I couldn't think of any other than like service to God, and it's not even one I even close to have. But now I can think of appreciation, um, depth, which is something she mentioned earlier, that and trust, and like if someone trusts me and is comfortable around me, that means a lot to me. In fact, the person I'm currently talking to and been on a couple dates with, they're super busy, and I probably won't be able to really hang out with them until March. That's how busy they are. One thing that really makes me want to uh, be patient with this is how she had interest in my interest. She showed interest in them. She thought they were interesting. My TTRPG, she didn't like dismiss them. She was like truly interested in something that I was interested in, and seemed to appreciate that part about me. And I would say that's definitely my love language. And I think about my ex. I think the fact that I put interest in her knitting, and I will be honest with you, how little I care about knitting. There's almost nothing I care about less in my life than knitting. I actively hate sweaters. The thought of putting on sweaters is triggering to me, of like childhood trauma. I hate them, but like she really loved them, and I love the fact that she did that. And I think that really was something that she liked about me, was she felt loved when I showed like interest in something that she loved. And I think that's a love language as well. And so I can come up with so many today, but just yesterday I couldn't think of any. But anyways, another thing that came up that I do really want to talk about is this idea of, I really talked about my social anxiety, and she asked me if I could go back in time and change it. And the thing is, I used to dream about that. I used to dream about especially early on when I was like 28 and 29, when I started really working on myself and could see the improvements in myself, like being able to hang out with actually people like Irene at that time. She's just a gorgeous, beautiful, fun, smart woman. And like before, like 25, 24, I wouldn't even be able to talk to someone like that because I'd just be in my head just with so much anxiety. But being able to do that, then I used to dream of like being able to go back to high school and go through that again. Now it's just the thought of going back to high school as a 47-year-old man in a high school person's body. Number one, freaking creepy, being surrounded by children with like being an adult mind with like a child, a teenager's hormones and being surrounded by that is disgusting. Just putting that aside, and the tiringness of being around young people all the freaking time and all that. But at the same time, like, but that used to be some, like, ignoring that, I've learned that doesn't help me. Thinking things were different, and I was talking about like certain aspects of my social anxiety, the nervousness of like, thinking like I know I ruminate on the experience. I think about whether or not she enjoyed herself, like she enjoyed the time. Part of my mind will go there. I think of that time I was in yoga and I had that thought. People didn't show up to class because they knew I was there, and she's like, "Am I fine?" And the thing is like I am, because as I was saying, like I don't have to believe those thoughts. I don't have to give energy to those thoughts. Those thoughts happen. This thing I've learned most about this weight loss journey for me is, I think the idea fake it till you make it and try to create this reality and then try to live into that reality does not work with brains like mine. Brains like mine is one reason I don't think I need a diagnosis, because I'm willing to accept that my brain is different and a lot of things that work for other people just don't really work for me. And the thing that I realize that works for me is accepting the reality as it is and then working with where I am at the time. So being able to flip a switch and have those thoughts of people don't like me, at the thoughts that this person's mad at me, at this thoughts that like people just don't want to be around me and that everyone hates me. And I would love to be able to flip a switch and have those thoughts never happen again, but they do. And to get rid of them and wanting to get rid of them has never helped me. It's never worked. It's never made my life better. It's always just created a situation where I just didn't deal with things in a healthy way. I would put things off. I would just try to like act like it didn't bother me, but it would still bother me and fester. And then I'd say something mean or rude, because I just start feeling everything would dwell inside. But if I just allow it to flow out of me and accept it, that's just what my brain does. And I think that's one thing I like about this ADHD thoughts that I've been having and learning about it, and why I don't think I need a diagnosis, because I'm willing to accept that part of me, is because I can think about what happens and analyze it in my brain and accept that that's just how I work. I have these thoughts. Those thoughts come into my brain. What matters isn't that it happens. What matters is how I handle it. It doesn't, there's like, so even at this point, when she asked, like, sure, those things would be different. What would be different? Part of me was actually thinking, like, it doesn't matter. Sure, I can think of a lot of things that would happen. Probably would have went out with Danielle Yvette Gray because she liked me, but I was just too, like, nervous and just in my head about that. I'd been better at job interviews coming out of college. I'd probably be a developer now, making $300,000, $400,000 a year. I can think of all these things that would be different if I was better back then, but that's useless because I can't go back in time and make those choices. I can only make choices based on who I am now with what I have now. It's just a waste of my time to really worry about that and think about that and imagine what life would be like if my past was different. All I can do is work with not all I can do, but what's better for me and the way my brain works is to think about what's happening now and who I am now and working on now. And working on who I am now, embracing the reality of my situation and working on making it better. It's like my workout, what I'm talking about. Yeah, yoga sucks, but if I keep on doing it in 3 months, I'll be better. Sure, sometimes anxiety comes up, but if I work on it in 3 months from now, my anxieties will be better. Those thoughts will be better. And that's just thinking about it that way, being future focused rather than worrying about the past focus, I think helps me more than anything. And I'm at my 10 minutes. So yeah, so that's kind of the thoughts in my head at this moment. I'm happy with the person I am today. I'm not perfect by any measure, or in any part of my imagination. There's so many things I would work on and improve, and there's so many things I am working on improving, but the fact that I'm willing to do that and continue to push forward is something about myself that I'm proud of, and I like that about me. And yeah, and if you do that, I like that about you too, and I'm proud of you, and I love you for who you are, and as always, you are worthy.